All right, I'm hitting it now so that I can't miss anything. Are we ready?
Ready.
Did you make a dolphin noise? What was that? Like
I don't know. It's just a hype noise.
like a seal. Sound like a seal. I go, we ready? And he just starts going.
That was my hype. I'm hype.
That was your hype. All right. Hey, welcome and thank you for tuning into the Movie Rubric. I'm Tim McDaniel.
Cole Wright.
Jonah Joe Bye.
And today we are going to be talking about the highly anticipated, highly debated, I shouldn't say highly debated. Apparently it's not.
Apparently it is.
Live action remake of everyone's beloved childhood classic, Lilo and Stitch.
They massacred my boy.
That was been a little.
Yeah. Without getting into
Me and Jonah both aren't happy. So
No.
I'm
Very
not. No
happy.
one. I can say no one at this table is happy. I think I'm the least angry at the table, but I'm definitely not happy.
You sound the most apologetic so far.
What do you mean apologetic? Like making excuses for it?
No, just like you're giving it the most leeway.
I want to. So, like when we started this podcast, the idea was that we treat every movie objectively.
Yes.
You know
Last
what
Jedi,
I mean?
maybe you're not treating it objectively.
And we've never done Last Jedi.
Wait till we do that one.
There's a reason we've never ran Last Jedi through the
I think we should run it.
Yeah, I like
so
to do that.
cool.
Oh, actually, that would be a really good episode. Really put me to the test if I can be objective or not.
Yeah.
But no, the idea is that like we treat everything objectively. So I'm trying so hard to look at this movie from an objective standpoint. But boy, it's so hard because I love Lilo and Stitch. I really do.
Lilo and Stitch is probably like, if it's not my favorite, it's top 3.
Yeah,
It's one of my
Disney
favorite Disney movies of all time.
Oh yeah, it's
Cole,
so good.
I'm going to put Cole on the spot.
I'm not
here.
doing it.
Can you?
I can do it. I'm not doing it.
Come on, Cole,
No.
do it.
Do what?
No.
What do you think I'm at? What, Jonah? What do you think I'm asking Cole to do?
Is Lilo and Stitch better than Space Jam?
Actually, that's actually a good question.
Like Space Jam 1?
Which one do you
Yeah.
like better, the original Space Jam or Lilo and Stitch?
Space Jam.
Okay,
Dang.
good.
Okay. What were you gonna ask? I don't even know where we're going with that.
Cole used to have the best Stitch impression.
Really?
I used to.
It was great. He says he can still do it. According, you just
I-
said it a second ago. You can still do it.
Yeah, I'm not doing it.
Like that?
That wasn't bad. That wasn't bad.
Wasn't bad.
But Cole's was better.
Spot on.
Was spot
I had
on.
a pretty good one, but I've tried it. It's not quite there, but I'm not doing it.
Do you know how many embarrassing things we've made Jonah do at the end of
Yeah, I'm not doing it.
That's true.
podcast
Yeah.
episodes? I feel like you should have to do it.
No, because if I blow it, then it's gonna like be like, oh my gosh, you can't do the Stitch impression. Oh
No, we could pause it and we'll let you do a practice.
Nope.
Practice run.
I'm surprised you didn't practice it in the car on the way over.
No, I'm just gonna refuse to do it because we're here to talk about this monstrosity of a movie.
All right.
Fair enough.
Well,
Once you get embarrassed like the first time, the rest of the times aren't that bad.
Oh, I've already embarrassed myself on this podcast before.
we've never embarrassed ourselves on this podcast before.
No,
I
never.
moaned into the microphone that one time.
All of
Oh,
our
for real?
takes.
What episode and exact timestamp? is that?
Five Nights at Freddy's. After we did the top 5 of the Halloween special, I made a ghost noise.
Okay.
How does he do that?
Computer
Because he
brain.
asked me to make a ghost noise and I moaned instead.
Oh.
Not
Sorry.
quite like that. It sounds like that turtle video.
There you go, Cole. Now we've embarrassed ourselves.
Nope, not doing it.
Oh, come on. What if you did Stitch doing a ghost moan?
No.
That was boo.
Follow
That
the
was Shy Guy.
script. You're going off topic here.
This whole episode's going to be off topic.
I got a lot to say.
Let's lock in for 2 seconds here. Should people go see the movie? I'm going to say 2 thumbs down.
Heck no.
2 thumbs down.
I think if you've never seen the original, I think this movie's okay. That being said, I don't like, and obviously we're hypocritical because we went and saw the movie. I went and saw it only with the intention of doing it for a podcast episode.
It could have been good. We didn't know it was going to be
Yeah.
garbage.
I like to do it. I know I'm being hypocritical here. I don't like that Disney is just doing live action remakes of everything they can. Don't go support that, in my opinion, unless it's something you're really passionate about. But if you are really passionate about like this movie, like Jonah, then you're not going to like it because it's worse than the original.
Yeah. Bad idea. All around. All around bad idea.
Jonah said 2. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
If you, like, why would you want to go to the theater when you have the better version of it ready for you on Disney Plus?
Yes.
You don't need to go see it.
That's a good segue into 2 things. So Jonah said 2 things as we were leaving the theater. He got my car and he said 2 things. The first thing, he said more than that, but the 2 big
I
things
said
that
a
stuck
lot
out.
of things on the way home. I went in big rant. I don't even know where this is going.
He said, got in my car and he goes, that was worse than Borderlands.
I've rescinded my statement. This is
I don't know.
not.
There's a debate to be had.
This is not nearly as bad as Borderlands,
I
hate this more.
I left more angry at this movie than I was at Borderlands.
Yeah, Borderlands. I was just like, man, that was boring.
Yeah, I was like, Jonah, I didn't like that, but you have to admit that was better than Borderlands.
That was better
Hey,
than
Tyler,
Borderlands.
you want Space Jam 2 or this?
This
This over Space Jam 2?
This over Space Jam 2, easy. That's actually a pretty easy one for me.
I did probably laugh more at this movie than Space Jam 2. I hate to say it.
And as much as I dislike some things that they did with this movie, they're both corporate cash grabs, but this one is a little bit less of a corporate cash grab.
This one's less?
Barely.
They didn't need to do this, though.
I know you're right. They didn't need to do Space Jam 2.
They've been teasing it forever, though.
I don't know.
No one ever talked about, I really want a Lilo and Stitch remake.
This is like
Some people did actually.
Who's asking
Who
for this
said
movie?
that?
To be fair,
That's crazy.
When they started the remakes, they started doing all of them. The ones that people really wanted were Snow White, Hercules, and Lilo and Stitch.
Where's the Hercules one at?
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Snow White makes sense because that movie's old as dirt.
it's old and it's mostly humans. in
Yeah,
it.
yeah, and like Lilo and Stitch, that holds up so well. That's like what,
Yeah.
20, 30 years old?
So those were like, I feel like he's gonna sneeze. He's gonna sneeze. I'm
Alert, alert,
muting all the
alert,
mics.
alert,
Hold
alert.
on.
No,
I was like, I'm gonna
He's good,
mute
he's
all the mics. I need to get the mute switch because Cole sneezes louder
The sneeze
than
button.
like a sound. He sneezed the other day. We were playing Mario Kart. And my ear started ringing.
It was loud.
It was
like
awful.
it was an alarm.
No, but those are the big three. Snow White, which they've done now.
Yeah.
It was awful. It was awful.
I'm glad we made room for
Good try.
Yeah.
For that.
Lilo and Stitch, which we'll talk about. And then Hercules was one that people really wanted a live action one
I've
of.
heard rumors of that, but they haven't
People really want
Run out of movies.
what they want them to do it while Danny DeVito is still able to play.
Okay.
you're running out of
Like
time.
a little man, Danny DeVito flying around. Be kind of cool.
He was the pig guy. Wasn't
Yeah.
he?
Did he have
the
wings?
No,
Yeah.
he's the trainer.
No,
Did he have wings?
he
didn't.
he's the goat.
Oh yeah, he's
Human
a goat.
dude.
Yeah, I'm confused.
Yeah, I bet that would be really funny.
Yeah.
And Jeff Goldblum said that he'd come back and do Hades
Yeah.
too. So
But at that point, why even make it?
once again,
You have the thing
You have
already
the movie.
there.
we're going to talk about this later. But yeah, Jonah had a really good thing. He said this actually. So this is the third thing Jonah said. He said if you have to change a movie so much to make it happen and make it work in live action, just don't do it. And I totally agree. Just don't do it. There's no reason to.
Another thing I thought,
And you did it worse.
and it
Yeah.
worse. The other thing I thought too, I told you, we talked about this. They're 100%
Is it the conspiracy theory?
my conspiracy theory.
Yeah, so-
they're making these movies purposefully bad. Hear me out,
Well-
because I fell victim to this. If this
He looks so serious right now.
Hold on. Before he says that one, I gotta make fun of
Why
him.
is it
This is
like
the
Joe
other thing he
Rogan?
said. I want you to come back to that one. But he goes, this might sound like a conspiracy theory, but I feel like they're like just making these movies so that people will talk about it, get Disney Plus and go watch the old one. And I said, Jonah,
well, there's more layers. There's more layers.
That's a brilliant
that's
strategy.
not a conspiracy theory. That's everyone knows that's what they're doing. That Disney has said that's what they're doing.
Hey, hold on.
no,
hold
no.
on.
But you acted like you were like obviously he was not smoking, but he acted. It was just one of those that felt like you just like took a big rip of like a blunt. And was like, now hear me
Is
out.
Nathan-
No, there's
hold on.
more
What
layers.
if-
There's
what
more
if-
layers.
What if Mr. Nathan For You guy is working for Disney now?
I've introduced
Oh,
Cole.
true.
I've introduced Cole to Nathan.
So what
Fielder.
I did was I made a bad Lilo and Stitch movie so people would go watch the original.
No, there's more layers to my theory.
Okay,
They're-
but go ahead with your like real conspiracy.
No,
theory.
they're making them bad on purpose to rage bait people. Because it happened to me. I heard about all the changes they made a few weeks ago, and then what did I do? I was like, man, that's really dumb. But you know what? The original Lilo and Stitch is so good. I haven't watched it in a while, and I fired up my Disney Plus subscription that I pay Disney for. They got money, and I watched the original Lilo and Stitch, even though I have the DVD downstairs because I'm lazy.
Yeah.
But so I think they're like Snow White. They're like, well, we could make a good Snow White movie, or we could make a bad Snow White movie. People will get mad about it. We make money from the movie, and then everyone go flocks to Disney Plus to watch the original Snow White because they're 97 years old.
I don't. You're not wrong. I don't think they're making them bad on purpose, but I do think that they don't care if they're good or bad. Because if they're good, they're going to make a lot of money. If it's bad, they're going to make a lot of money. People are still going to talk about it. People might go rewatch the old one. And at the end of the day,
They're making money.
they need content on Disney Plus to keep that subscription up. So once again, I don't think they're purposely making them bad. I just think they don't care because they don't need to care.
They got so many things. Like they're gonna really hang their hat on Lilo and Stitch.
We went on was it Thursday? When did we go?
Saturday.
Was it a Saturday?
Yeah.
Okay. But like our theater was pretty packed for
was
being
full.
like a week after. Yeah. Like
A lot of screaming kids.
And
yeah.
I looked today and like the theater tonight was, and for the record, I was totally Cole makes fun of me because I got really irate about that kid during Violent Night.
Oh yeah.
Oh, come
But
on.
that
That's funny.
that was an 11 o'clock showing for an R-rated movie. You shouldn't have had 12 kids sitting behind me for
Come
a
on.
birthday.
Yeah.
Hey,
no,
it's
that was
Christmas.
ridiculous. Yeah.
It's Christmas, Tyler.
But
Where's your
this
Christmas
movie,
spirit?
when the little kid screamed, Cole looked at me and I was like, "This one's fine. This one's good." That being said, the little kid to the right who tried to take my soda
Oh, did he really?
leave the theater? He ran up, looked at me, and then grabbed my soda, and I was like, and then thankfully his grandma or someone was like, "That's not ours," and like slapped his hand away, and then like he just was running up and down the aisle so much that the dad was like, "That's it, we're leaving," and
He
then
was screaming too.
the
Yeah.
old lady to the right of the lady to my right was like, "Helen, we're leaving." And, "What? We're leaving. He can't sit still. We're leaving. I paid." And she's like, "We're leaving." And like
What
this
did he
lady,
say?
this lady just could not fathom that they
What?
had to leave the
What
theater.
are they selling?
What did he sell? Chocolate?
Yeah, it was really funny. All right. Do we want to talk about the movie?
No,
Not
you know, I
really.
do. I do want to talk about
Actually,
this
yeah,
movie.
yeah, you're right.
I am.
Real quick, I have to tighten my mic. It is swinging around like a.
I muted you.
It's
Tighten
swinging
it down.
around like a swing. What a.
Probably sounds bad.
Tighten it down, King. I've muted you.
Whoa, what does that mean?
No one heard that but us. You got it?
He almost has it.
Okay.
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Okay, I got it.
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle,
Wiggle,
wiggle,
wiggle.
wiggle, yeah. All right. Spoiler alert. Wee woo, wee woo. I need to get a siren on this thing. Like, yeah. Oh. You'll do that, but not a Stitch
Yeah,
impression.
dang right.
All right. Where to start? Where to start? Let's get our few positives out of the way.
What positives?
Okay.
I have like and positive, maybe two.
I have
Stitch looked good.
yeah, that was one of my, I have like 3 or 4.
No one else did.
I have like 3 or 4. So yeah, I think that Stitch looked great.
Stitch looked really like design wise. Stitch did look good. For if you had to translate Stitch into live action,
Yeah.
this is the best.
Grand Councilwoman. All right.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
Everyone else though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, the alien designs in this movie.
Pleakley, what did they do
They're
to my boy?
ugly. It's like it's how I talked about like you can't translate this faithfully to
No.
live action. Pleakley's eye is disgusting. Jumba looks like a hairy ball sack, like with pubes on it.
Why
Well,
did they pick
implied?
positives? Positives.
Sorry.
Positives.
I don't know if we try to keep this family friendly, so I'm sorry I said that.
Like, that
We've
little,
never really, yeah.
that
Like,
little explicit
yeah.
logo is gonna be on there because we said
Ball
sack.
sack and pubes.
I think we said way worse.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
You're probably right. You're right.
I think the actor who played Pleakley, Nani, and Lilo did a great job.
I think Lilo did really good. The
Lilo-
little actress they cast, if that was good.
The child actress for child actors in general are usually like hit or miss. She killed it. I
Mhm.
think Nani, in addition to being fine, did a really good job as Nani.
Oh yeah.
And then I think that the actor for Pleakley did a really good job.
He did fine.
You don't think so?
I mean, it was okay.
I thought it was
here's
fine.
the thing. The lines that they ripped from the original, the timing was off. The pacing of the cadence of the line was off. The delivery was off. I don't think
Don't get me wrong. Like, is it as good as the original? No.
no, but like they if you're gonna rip lines from the scene, you don't
You cast someone as Pleakley. The director gives him direction. I think he did okay.
No, I
like
don't.
he was good.
He was passive.
he's the most tolerable.
tolerable.
I expected to like set Jonah off when I mentioned Nani being fine because we were in the van talking about. He was like,
Oh, whoa.
She
She's no
wasn't
Florence
though.
Pugh.
Like when they did have the original
she's
Nani
no
in the
Florence Pugh. Is that
Yeah,
what you
yeah.
said?
they
She
had,
was
they had
fine,
the
though.
original
Yeah.
Nani in the movie though. Also,
was she?
She was the original social worker.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Because I'm like she looks familiar. I'm like Wayne's World, and the girl in Wayne's World played Nani.
Oh,
I'm like,
Yeah. I didn't know that either. I didn't know that was the Wayne's World.
That is
Sandra.
kinda cool.
Yeah.
I had to like shut my eyes and like listen to the voice. Like that's her. That's her.
Yeah.
Of my other positives, I thought the soundtrack, despite just being the original, was mixed
Well,
and was really good.
They had a few of the original. They had the main ones from the original.
yeah, like they
And everything else was just kind of eh.
they hit the important ones, and I thought that
Everything else was just placeholder. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm interrupting
Yeah.
you.
Like, okay, I don't want to be like a hater of like pop music. I love pop music.
Be a
I like
hater.
Sabrina Carpenter. I jam out, but I have heard Uptown Funk 18 trillion times.
Oh, it was in
and it
this
came
movie.
on in this movie again. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh.
So, all right, let's segue into the middle ground. So we did our positives. Any other positives?
No.
Things that don't make me irate, but I dislike. Why do we make it modern day? Yeah, because Uptown Funk played. They all had like iPhone 16s. Like, I think it was an ad. I think Disney was like, we got to get that Apple money. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, yeah.
they very clearly showed off iPhones like 3 or 4 times in the movie.
Yeah, that didn't bother me too much. The modern day stuff.
I mean, you had to expect that, right?
Yeah, I mean,
No,
I don't think
I wanted it to be like when the original took place, like
Early
early
2000s?
2000s. Yeah.
I mean, that's fair. I don't look at
think
it
it
as
had-
much of a period piece.
It makes more sense for
It's not.
like
It's not a period piece.
no, I think it makes more sense for like the job market and stuff like that. Like Nani needing to go around physically and apply for jobs like pen and paper and search people out on the island. And,
Hawaii.
like, makes no sense if it's modern day because everyone does this stuff online. Like she could work from home. You know what I mean? Like
I'm just saying, Tyler, Hawaii is kind of crazy.
you could do like a work from home job for like working for a hotel or something like that from home. Like I just feel like
You could, but this movie sucks.
the people
exactly.
the people being obsessed with records and Elvis and like all kind of plays into the period piece.
Yeah. Speaking of music, there was not as much Elvis in this movie as there was in the
No,
original.
not at all.
Just twice, I think.
Like it's like, oh yeah, I remember that from the first movie.
And then the credits as we were rolling out, I was like, I don't like this cover. of whatever
Burning
Elvis-
Love?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think it would have benefited more being a period piece. It gained nothing from being modern day, except for making Jonah mad by playing Uptown Funk.
I mean, I wasn't infuriated, but I was like, dude, come on, Uptown Funk again, dude. This isn't like this has been in every movie for like since 2015. I feel like,
Yeah.
They also
and it's
changed.
a good song, but like, no, after it's like a cookie. If you eat a cookie every day, you don't like cookies anymore.
That's valid.
Yeah,
That's valid. As a wedding DJ, I have to hear that song like 19 times a year.
all the time. Yeah,
So I feel you. I really do.
said it's in moderation. It's a good song.
Yeah. All right. Any other middle grounds before we get into the
They-
meat
I
and
hate that they-
potatoes of this episode?
I hate that they changed the bit of the ice cream guy to a snow cone. I don't know why that bothers me, but like you
Just hated that?
you went out of their way to switch up that.
You're right. It really could have
Why?
been ice cream. Yeah.
Why? Like you
Yeah.
just wanted to change. I think you're just trying to make people mad. I think I'm getting mad.
One of my students yesterday, we were talking about it. They said the guy only dropped his ice cream twice. He drops it like 5 times in the original. I was like, I don't know if he drops it 5
At
times.
least 3.
But they were really upset that he only dropped his.
And it's not even ice cream. It's a
I don't remember the
snow
second
cone.
time.
They were really upset he
And
only
he's not
dropped the
even-
snow cone twice.
He doesn't
upset
even look
about
like a thumb. Like what are we doing?
Yeah, true. He doesn't look like a fat tourist thumb.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that was funny.
And we missed the classic. You know, the best one is where he's alone in
Yeah.
like the woods, and then the spaceship comes by and it like turns
clips.
sideways, and the end of the wing clips the.
Mhm.
So that's such a good bit in that one.
That really is.
Classic.
Yeah, but we can't make good things anymore.
No more classic.
On the middle ground, you bringing this up reminded me. In the original, Stitch bikes around the island when he's looking for a city
Yes.
to destroy.
Strikes.
He trikes around, which shows like his stamina and like how
Mhm.
powerful he is. And then in this one, he hot wires a children's car,
Yeah, he's
which
smart.
apparently weighs crazy amounts of weight because of like the way that they animated it and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But like yes, smart coal doesn't automatically make a battery last 10 hours.
Listen, you
All-
felt different.
Also, like that's another example of like
Why?
of like it's like impossible to translate this into live action. My mouth is wet today.
Phrasing?
It like in the original, like, oh yeah, you don't question it. Like this funny cartoon alien can ride a tricycle across the entire island in a few minutes, but this one's like, oh, did he for real drive that to every corner of the island before the sunset?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Like passage of time also doesn't make sense in this. Like
Yeah.
not really.
how long did they have Stitch before the job applications came in?
Yeah,
It's like, is this all in one day? Is there 70 hours in one day in Hawaii?
yeah. They
they
never go to bed. In the first one, you can there's like multiple scenes where they're going to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah. It maybe wasn't choreographed or like, like
Did they also?
relayed the best.
Is this
Yeah.
like the same people who worked on Death of a Unicorn?
Oh,
I mean,
I was telling
that movie's a
someone the other day.
masterpiece compared to this.
I was telling someone the other
Honestly,
day.
facts.
That
Yeah.
cut in Death of Unicorn might be my least favorite cut in a movie.
Oh,
ever.
that's hilarious! It's
It is
hilarious
jarring.
now. It's very jarring.
It's the most jarring cut I've ever seen in a film.
Yeah, it was a lot. That's gonna go down in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, middling. Okay, I got another one here. I'm like not irate, but it's bad, and I know why they did it. The beginning of the movie was incredibly rushed.
Oh, 100%.
The editing is insane in this movie.
That was not even a middle. That's a one I gripe with.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
got to make room for all this other crap we're gonna throw in
See,
here.
like,
Yeah.
like that upsets me at like a 4 to 5 out of 10 compared to my other stuff. But like, yes, I know why they did it. It's because they didn't want to pay animators to have to animate all the people and make them look good. But it's Disney. You guys have
We only
so
have $1 billion
much.
trillion.
You have so much money.
We're gonna make a bunch off this movie anyway.
Like some of the scenes, like you said, it just cuts off. You can like seconds too early in every scene. And even when they get to Hawaii, like the first whole like part of the movie, like first of all, like I said, it cuts like no room to breathe. Like someone finishes talking and immediately cuts, and then also the whole first part, like it's cutting fast, and the camera is like.
Oh yeah, I have a gripe on the opening thing. Also, when we get to Hawaii,
Okay.
Lilo puts the sandwich down. How is that thing sitting at the bottom of the ocean? That
That's
thing's not gonna
true.
float.
She puts weights in it.
That doesn't
Peanut
make
butter,
sense.
heavy peanut butter,
Yeah.
tungsten peanut butter.
No.
Once it gets wet enough, wouldn't it sink?
No, because
Oh,
like,
just fall apart.
have you ever
Also.
fed ducks before?
Yeah, but like
It floats.
because I'm throwing bread on top of the water. Like
But like she sets it down on a rock and it doesn't move.
when we're done here,
Let's get a piece of
I have a
bread.
big plastic tub out there and sandwich bread. Let's make a sandwich.
It has to be the same sandwich. We'll go to the park and jump in.
if I can remember.
She has it, swims underwater, sets it on a rock,
'Kay.
swims
Swims
out.
up.
Cole,
Yeah, it's
Cole
goofy.
remind me, we're at 21 minutes now. I'll forget that. Remind me to put it in post how the sandwich experiment went. We're going to
Yeah,
do
yeah.
this afterwards.
We'll add this.
I'm going to put this in. Okay. So hopefully we just came back from the world's most entertaining sandwich experiment.
Or it's gonna be Chloe's like, oh yeah, we didn't do that.
Yeah. I forgot.
I forgot.
I had another thing that was middling. The pacing. So the cuts
Yeah,
were
pacing was not good.
pacing for the whole movie was bad. And then I felt like they just every 5 minutes tried to have an emotional scene. Like it wasn't like in the original where there's one or two big ones. Like every time we spun around, someone takes a knee and the music gets sad and there's like a heart to heart. And then like we go do something funny and then like turn around again. And it's like, I don't know why. Maybe it was like that in the original.
I
But
think it just feels so forced that you
Yeah.
notice it more. Like in the original, like this was something I noticed in the original. Like when the social worker leaves the first time and like Nani's chasing her around the house, like it's kind of funny because like she's mad and she's screaming and they're chasing and she like licks her sister's arm, but then like there's a part where she's like, "Do you want to get taken away?" And then like she like kind of tears up a little bit and it's like, "No, no," and then like it's kind of like not as forced emotional. This one it's
Yeah.
like, and they don't even do that in this one. They just kind of do sisterly shenanigans and then run up to their room.
yeah.
No,
Like
they-
locks herself in a room.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had a thought. I lost it though.
Sorry,
You're good.
I'll come back to
I
it.
rambled too much.
Was it them having a really serious emotional moment where Lilo says, "I like you as a mom too," and then I looked at Jonah and I said, "Well, she's in for a bad time."
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
No,
Rip
okay.
the Band-Aid off. Cole, go.
Okay.
Oh boy,
Where's Jumba's Russian accent?
Yeah.
First off, weird choice. So jarring, more jarring than the death of a unicorn scene, in my opinion. If you know the Lilo and Stitch, like the original,
I was going to say it earlier. I think Zach Galifianakis was a really bad casting choice for
he
Jumba.
was.
the part at the beginning made me laugh. The way he says it, he sounds like the nerd emoji. He goes, "I didn't teach him that." I'm like, bro,
Like this is not the Jumba. What did they do to my boy?
Yeah.
butcher Jumbo.
I'm sure Zach could do a Russian accent, and if not, find someone who can. You know who I think would've
David
been-
Harbour. He
That's
knows how to do-
literally what I was
That
going to
would've
say.
been good, yeah.
David Arbor, I think, would have been a fantastic Jumba. Yeah, that would have been good. I agree.
David Harbour. So we could have got him.
And I think I'm thinking that just because we just went and saw Thunderbolts.
And he does a really good
and
Russian
he does
accent.
a really good Russian accent. He's kind of that kooky, crazy. He's not evil.
He's
but
a mad
also,
scientist.
He's a mad scientist. He's just crazy. You know what I
yeah.
mean? I was
but
like,
then he stays the villain the whole
He's
movie.
evil.
Where's Gantu at?
that
Yeah,
is
That is so dumb.
Gantu's a cool villain. He's
Yeah, he is cool.
that is without a doubt. We're going to talk about some other things that make us mad, but that is hands down
he doesn't have a change of heart.
my biggest gripe with this movie. And the director claims that they were trying to tell a different story. Screw them. They didn't want to animate Gantu.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
That's
that's ran
the
out of
reason.
money. Yeah,
Which why even make the movie?
Having
exactly.
Jumba have a turn of heart and help them out was part of the Ohana found family narrative, and Stitch coming to terms with his found family and reuniting with his dad and like this complex relationship. It's great. It's amazing. And by having Jumba go full evil, you just this whole movie kind of spits on the Ohana thing, but you just really, really spit.
We'll get to
started.
that.
Okay.
Oh, I'm trying to think of the other one. Oh, small gripe here, but
We already did small gripes, Nick.
no, I'm still mad about it because it kind of undoes continuity for like what they've established in like the original, but I guess they're doing their own thing. They reference the show in this for a brief second because they have all the other experiments. He's implying that he's going to turn him into 627. So are they like just regenerating like Doctor Who over here? Like, how is this working? They're all different experiments. They're in little balls. You can't get them wet.
I think that. Yeah, that's weird.
That's stupid.
I'm not going to try to defend it. My thought was like maybe you can mutate him.
But
in the show, they're two different things.
Yeah. In the original,
that's not to say there wasn't 600 other experiments, but for Stitch, he's going to mutate him. I don't know.
It implies though, because it's in the line like, oh, here's 625, here's 626. Like I'm going to turn you into 627.
Yeah.
Like
he does say in the original at one point when he's still chasing around, he's like, oh, I'll like take you back and make you taller and not so fluffy or something like that. But like obviously you don't find out because he turns good. Butchered that here.
Yeah.
So,
let me think what else here. Oh, so when they're hunting Stitch down, like originally, he's at the pound. When they go into night vision, it's like not night vision, thermal goggles, and it's like, oh, he's listening. They just copied the same thing from the animated movie, like of him listening and then turning around. Like it's just animated, but he's sitting in a truck in this movie.
Yeah,
I'm fine with that.
I
wish they'd copied the original more often.
Yeah,
they should have just not even done it.
Yeah,
that scene is really good.
Yeah.
Well,
Jonah,
sorry, I don't want to steal your thunder, but I don't know if you had any more.
go for it. I'll piggyback off of you. I feel like there's the big one at the end that we need to address.
I'll save the big one for the end. But I have more.
We'll get our little ones out here.
One of my biggest ones. That's not the big one. I hit the mic. I'm not in a good space right now. My mouth's wet. I'm hitting the microphone. It's not tight.
Bro, your mouth is supposed to be wet.
I mean, it's like squishing.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, listener.
Yeah, it's okay. They like it. They like the ASMR.
All 32 of you.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay. My other biggest gripe: they butchered the Stitch's arc. So here's my thought. I talked about this on the way home.
Ugly Duckling.
Well, yeah, but kind of. So in the original, he lands, and like they say in this movie and the original, he is pretty much evil. He is just a weapon of destruction. Like he wants to hurt and destroy things, and he's like angry, like kind of like throwing things at people. He's a not a good guy, and then that makes his turn more like impressive because he runs out of things to destroy, and then he has nothing, and then he like finds you see him start warming up. In this one, he's not really evil when he lands. He lands, and he's just mischievous. Like he lands and he's like, "Oh, a cake," and he's not really attacking people that much. He kind of freaks out at the pictures, obviously, and he's just mischievous. And then, like in the original, like he does not like Lilo at the beginning. He's like ticked off. And this one, they're chilling right off the bat. So then when they all get mad at him later, or like he has a change of heart, it's like, well, he didn't really do it. He's just kind of being a goofy like dog kid, and so it doesn't hit the same when he changes. It's like, what do you change from? You're just not as mischievous anymore.
Yeah.
And it just butchered it. It didn't hit as hard.
I have a similar one where they make the comment, and in the original movie, I never got the impression that Stitch was stupid.
No. He's smarter than a supercomputer.
And then in this one, it's like, he's got the processing speed of 100 supercomputers. And then I feel like in this movie, Stitch was dumb multiple times. Even the opening. So like we have killed a dozen or two, like police officers, essentially.
Probably.
Stolen a ship and are flying to Earth. And they can project where he's going to land, which I think is stupid, I should have brought this up during middling because his ship's not broken at that point. So how are they projecting where he's going to land? He could literally just turn.
That's fair.
You know what I mean? Like fly up wherever he wants to. He doesn't even have to go to Earth.
Yeah.
But then he's in the like ship and like a red light goes off and he just like destroys the console. Why?
Yeah,
Like,
he knows how
he's-
to work it.
He's not stupid.
In the end, when we talked about this, when at the end movie he sinks into the water, and then he's staying there, and the shore's right over there.
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
he's just like, "Oh no!" I'm like, "Dude,
I
can
literally
walk.
looked at
Just
Jonah
walk.
and I was
Yeah.
like, dude, just walk. And then Nani fell down. We'll give I said this.
They foreshadowed it.
Almost everything in the movie, almost everything was foreshadowed ahead of time. And
It's
I
functional.
really appreciate that, because if they just show Nani pick up Stitch and just walk him back to shore, not foreshadowing that she was like a competitive like underwater rock carrier, like I would have been like, what?
wow."
Like, you know what I mean? But like, at least they foreshadowed that.
Yeah, at the very least.
Never
yeah.
forget though, the parents left them behind.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
also-
Not that they died.
how
for
far the
dying.
ship
Yeah.
was from Hawaii was really weird. So like when we're flying in the ship, it looks like we're like cruising, and then it crashes, and then like it pans over and it's right next to the shore. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
It's like we should be like a mile or two out, I feel like. But that was
I was gonna say, yeah,
that was real dumb.
real dumb. And then I was gonna say something about that. I lost my train of thought.
David's a
But there's
dork
other
in
things.
this movie.
Who?
David.
He's
Yeah.
kind of a dork though.
I know, but he like at least had some aura in the cartoon.
I feel like
Hello,
he
he
was
did
like
have aura.
he was like cool and suave in the original, and
Yeah.
Nani had
This guy's a nerd.
He does light himself on fire.
and Nani had a crush on him in the original, right?
kind
Yeah.
of
Well-
a crush, but she's so busy taking care of Lilo, she doesn't really have time for.
But like in this one, she is not interested in him at all, and like you said, he's cringy. Like,
Like he just exists.
yeah, I think in the original one, he had like aura's one word for it. He was like set up to be like, he might not be the most intelligent, but he's like a cool guy.
Yeah.
And then in this
He's a
one,
like he's a nice guy.
this
You
one,
just,
he's
you can
just
tell he
cr-
cares about him.
yeah, he's just cringe in this one.
Oh, I just thought of something. Sorry.
Okay.
There's a scene we talked about this, and I could have misheard this, but this one line made me a little more irritated than it
Wait,
should
I think I
have.
know what you're going to talk about.
Yeah. So Jumba and Pleakley land,
Yes.
and first of all, they turn into this was what made me say that earlier. First of all, they turn into people.
Mhm.
And everyone's like, "Oh, well, it wouldn't make sense for them to wear wigs and fake mustaches that
What
no
they-
one recognizes."
What they did.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, well, if the big charming part of your movie can't be done live action, then
Don't do
maybe
it.
don't do it. But anyways,
I don't like that the cloning device changes their like molecular density.
yeah, it's not
too.
like a hologram. That's them.
Like I would be a bit more okay with it if it was just like a covering.
Yeah.
Yeah. Continue. Sorry.
No, you're good. No, I agree. But the whole bit of their landing, all the jokes are that they don't understand how Earth works, and like Pleakley thinks that as they don't know anything about Earth. That's the whole bit. Especially Jumba. Jumba doesn't know anything about. At least Pleakley studied Earth. And there's a line where Jumba, I swear, he looks at the humans. I could have misheard
Yeah.
this. He says they look like Slim Jims with heads. It's like,
Yeah,
bro,
I-
you
how
just
do you know what that
butchered your
is?
whole
I
bit.
don't think he said Slim Jim.
He did say Slim Jim.
Did he?
He did.
I don't know what else he would have said.
I
Slim
thought he said
sticks?
they look like.
They look slim thick.
I thought he said they look like. Yeah, like little slim sticks with googly eyes or something. Like
No,
that.
I think
Maybe.
I heard Slim Jim.
You hear Slim Jim?
I could be
Okay.
wrong on that one. If they say slim sticks, I apologize.
You know what?
for
I'm
that part.
outvoted. I'm outvoted 2
No,
to 1. Maybe
I have
he said
another
Slim
thing
Jim.
on that. No, not like that, but like a continuity plot thing.
For Jumba.
No, for the movie.
Okay.
So at the end, when Lilo and Stitch are breaking out of Jumba's ship, Jumba has a little like the thing that changes his his disguise and everything. How does Lilo know how that works? Because he never did that in front of her.
Oh, she pushed that?
Yeah,
Oh.
Does she?
yeah. She grabs it and hits the button,
Oh,
and he turns back and flies out.
I missed that. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he never did that in front of her.
Huh? You're right.
Yeah, that's goofy.
I thought Stitch did it.
No,
No,
It
Stitch,
was- Stitch was
something.
I thought Stitch was the one. Who
no, it was Lilo.
Uh-huh. Okay, yeah, you're right. I was upset when they were walking to the hotel, so they cloned the people. And for the record, Pleakley, I'll give the benefit of the doubt, but Jumba is bipedal and has 2 humanoid-esque legs.
Yeah,
And then they
4
clone
eyes,
themselves and they just forget how to walk.
yeah.
Yeah,
and I
that
was
was
like,
goofy. That
now
was very goofy.
Pleakley, I would maybe give the
Yeah,
benefit
Pleakley
of the
has
doubt
floppy
on. They got
tentacle
like
feet.
tentacles,
Yeah.
yeah, but like Jumba should be fine.
Yeah.
That was so stupid. As we were ranting, I thought of another thing that made me mad, and then I ranted past it.
They never did the mosquito thing. They just addressed it a couple times because, like, hey, that was in the first movie, but
Yeah,
the
true.
bit of the mosquitoes attacking Pleakley,
That was such a
Yeah.
good bit, too.
yeah, didn't happen.
Yeah.
I before we do the big thing, I do want to say if you've not seen the original, the big one we're about to say, I don't think is the tragedy it is. I want to give this movie the tiniest bit of the doubt. I think they wrote. I'm going to go ahead and say the big one. Are we ready for the big one?
I think I'm ready. If I think of something else, I'll go back to it.
Ready for the big one?
Yeah.
Nani gives up Lilo to the state. Obviously, we, as well as everyone, are very upset about that change. That being said,
Not my Nani, hashtag.
I wasn't
Hashtag not my nanny.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting the movie to do a good job of setting her up and putting her in a position where that kind of makes sense. So once again, if you hadn't seen the original movie and the movie's entire core idea wasn't about family and not leaving people behind, the writers did a good job of making it seem like she is just trying to do the best, and like especially with the portal gun, she could come back. But the problem is, and so that's my little bit of good I want to give the movie. I think they wrote that well-ish. But my problem is, that's what the movie is about. You're undermining the core theme. Additionally to that, the whole movie, I'm thinking, why doesn't the neighbor just watch Lilo while Nani's at work? I'm thinking that the entire movie, and then
it ruins the whole logic of the whole movie.
And then the end of the movie is like, well, Nani? What if I watched her while you went to school? And I'm like, oh, dude, yeah, screw you, man. Like, you could have
done it this whole time.
You could have been doing
Anybody
it
home?
this entire time.
Like, what do you got going on? You got chickens.
Yeah, you live right there.
If that's the solution, why does Nani need to give her up to the state?
Yeah, and oh my gosh.
And there's a marine biology college in Hawaii.
Why you gotta go to California, bro? And like going off of that, of the bad thing, I just want to reiterate, like, if this was real life and I knew these people, I don't think it's like a morally reprehensible thing to leave someone with someone, your little sister with someone you trust while you go to college. But like you said, when the theme of the franchise, the whole movie, is about how family should stick together and how important family is to stay together, and you go out of your way to change that message, it feels gross.
Yeah.
It feels icky, and it feels, I mean, like I said, I don't want to go like super like conspiracy. It feels like agenda-ish. Like, why did you go for that?
Did you notice they only said the Johanna line, I think, once?
Once, and then Jumba makes a joke about it. I don't know why he knows what that is.
Oh, Hannah.
He goes, "Oh, you're Hannah."
Oh, yeah. Then
I will. Sorry,
Jumba. So at the end, when he's like, they added this part also, like, oh, well, Stitch was just using you this whole time. To, like, okay, they didn't do that in the original. Okay, fine, you're doing something different.
Yeah.
But then Lilo's going to trust this guy after he's
like kidnapping her? Yeah.
Well,
and also, she doesn't care after that.
Stitch didn't deny it.
Yeah.
And I actually think that that's one of the few good changes they made, because Stitch is smart. And if he realizes that he overheard with his super hearing, they called it, he overheard that they can't attack him if he's with humans, I would try to stick near humans too. He's smart. That's a change that I actually think is kind of well done.
Stitch can communicate. They'll be like, hey,
I've changed.
I changed.
Yeah. And I think Lilo noticed that, which is why she still went after them to save them. So like, I'm not upset about that one as much. But
also,
the rest of the movie was a soulless cash grab.
Also, about the end of the movie, before the big one happened, when aliens come down, Bubbles, he was a freaking joke in this movie. He wasn't cool.
They really didn't need the other
no, because Bubbles was already
Just
there.
give us Bubbles.
Yeah.
And also, who was Bubbles? He looked so familiar.
I have no idea.
So
say your thing. I'm going to look that up.
Here we go. So in the original, the reason why the Grand Councilwoman didn't take Stitch is like, oh, Lilo has adoption papers, a signature showing ownership of Stitch. There wasn't that in this movie. And all they said to Bubbles, like, how do we know to trust you guys that he's going to, how do we know we can trust you? Like, oh, you trust us.
Set me up, cuz. We can trust each other. And
like,
they took away him meeting aliens.
Yeah. There's nothing.
It's implied, but
yeah, that whole bit wasn't there either.
It was such a cool reveal in the original when he's like, aliens are all about rules, and then the Grand Council's like, have we met before? And he's like, yeah, Roswell. And then
like, oh, you had hair then.
Yeah, you had hair then. I'm like, that's such a cool part and a cool twist.
They really watered down Bubbles. They should have made him a big buff guy. Didn't need the other social worker.
It should have been The Rock.
Another thing that made me really mad.
Throw him in there.
Called the aliens a jabroni and called
part of the reason that people had to go undercover and the reason they almost didn't leave Stitch at the end is because the big chancellor lady is like, we have to keep our identity a secret. We can't let the humans see aliens. And then the next shot is their giant spaceship in orbit that you could see. It's bigger than the moon, just like floating in the sky. Like everyone on Earth could see it. It wasn't cloaked. Surely the CIA had some satellites that went,
or everyone on the tourist capital of the planet.
Yeah.
Like,
How are we going to know you're going to keep our secret? Like, you can trust me.
Trust me, bro.
Good enough for me.
Yeah.
she's like, how you know we're going to keep our secret? And you turn around and there's a giant Star Destroyer floating in orbit.
It's the moon from Majora's Mask.
Yeah, it does look like, panic's already settled in.
Like,
I thought that was so stupid.
Yeah.
They butchered. It's like all that stuff with the plot. Like they like butchered it. You had a good story and you ruined it with this stupid stuff.
Yeah, like,
One of the best scenes in the movie was right before Bubbles steps up and does that. The majority of that final scene was line for line.
Yeah.
The original. And it was great until they changed stuff.
Yeah, until they removed the adoption thing. Like, hey, I own him.
Just
This is
do
what-
it line for line.
yeah,
Yeah.
do the whole thing. And like going off what you said about Bubbles, like they do this. I haven't seen a lot of the Disney remakes, but they do this a lot. Like, Disney, like the classic Disney movies are like they're tight movies. Like there is no wasted space. Everything that happens is important. Like there's no fluff on it. And then when they do these remakes, it is with Aladdin, which I thought Aladdin was one of the better ones. Still not very good, but it was better. They just add this fluff to it that just screws the whole thing up, like you said. Like
not everything needs to be 2 hours long.
yeah, and like so you add the neighbor. That's not that important. I mean, I get she is important later, but that just adds fluff to the movie. And then you have the other social worker that just feeds into Bubbles.
Well,
like, why is that in there?
My conspiracy on that one is they wanted to get the original Nani actor in the movie,
They could have made her a
but-
waitress.
but
Or
they-
the pet shop owner.
but they
or something.
wanted her to interact with Nani all the time.
You're
so,
probably right.
So it's like, oh, that's
Yeah.
cool, Easter egg, but it's like, but you just had to rewrite the whole thing around
She
it.
could have
though.
been Nani's boss or something like that. The one
Could-
that fires her.
Yeah,
I don't know.
could have
She could have
been.
been the neighbor.
Make her be the neighbor.
Yeah, screw that. Make her the neighbor.
Say she's old enough now.
Yeah, she could be the neighbor.
Yeah.
Well, she could be David's mom. I couldn't think of the word.
Yeah, it was weird. Oh gosh, they also didn't have the scene. I think the most emotional scene in the original is when Bubbles has Stitch in the back of the car and the house is on fire and she's like, I just want what's best for Lilo, and he screams, he's like, this is what you think is best for her.
Yeah.
And it's this moment where, like, if you're gonna go the route of maybe Nani should give it up, it's this huge pivotal moment. Lilo sneaks out of the squad car and runs into the woods. We didn't have any of that. Like that whole interaction between the caseworker and Bubbles, Bubbles and Nani just didn't happen. The caseworker and Nani didn't have that. We just completely circumnavigated that entire scene and instead had a weird, unnecessary Lilo almost drowned scene in the hospital. Like
Which she did almost drown in the original, but the hospital.
but like the hospital scene, you know what I mean? Like it was just unnecessary.
This is a propaganda for health insurance.
Oh yeah. Yeah, when they're like, well, if we'll run your health insurance. Oh,
Well,
no.
to be fair
No.
to the caseworker,
She told her.
Nani could get free health insurance through the state because she's like fostering, essentially, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
yeah.
there is a thing in place. So I get what they were going with. Like, you're clearly not responsible enough to fill out paperwork.
Yeah.
Like, I get that, but ugh. All right. Favorite character.
Stitch.
Man, we
Li-
got
I think Lilo.
I think Lilo, because they butchered Stitch a little bit.
Yeah.
They
Lilo
did.
was great.
I
think
don't know. I mean, Lilo, I guess, but
I think it was Lilo for me. Least favorite's Jumba.
yeah,
Favorite is Jumba.
butchered him.
Jumba.
Jumba.
My least favorite character is the lack of a Gontu. Actually, you know what? No, it's still Jumba. It's still Jumba. I was gonna say it was gonna be Bubbles because they butchered him, but no, they butchered Jumba worse.
He existed.
Did anyone have a favorite moment?
No.
Oh, okay. One part, it's really stupid. It actually is from Jumba. There's a line that made me laugh, and it's really stupid, but he's going through Lilo's house, and when he says, "Who's Mimi and Pee or whatever,"
That was funny.
That made me laugh. That was funny. But I can't think of anything else.
I laughed at one other point in the movie, and I don't remember exactly when it was, but I did laugh once.
To the movie's credit, I had some nose exhales. There's
Yeah.
some parts that made me go,
Couple.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of funny. But yeah,
This is the real kicker. Least favorite scene.
Scene, man.
I think honestly, like, Jumba and Pleakley going to the hotel is just,
Yeah.
it just I just didn't like that at all. It just felt so, I didn't like that.
Forced.
Yeah.
I don't
Dumb. Dumb's the word.
I don't know what my least favorite is. I know I should have thought on it more. I was hoping as we were talking, like I'd nail down
I
one.
don't know. I hate a lot of this movie.
It as a whole, it's hard to narrow down a single scene.
Mine might be, I've got it. It's when Lilo jumps through the portal, Stitch is in the tube, and Jumba's on the ship and Lilo's sneaking around. Because that scene is stupid for a lot of reasons. One, it's a huge divergent from the plot. It is Jumba being pure evil. And then I thought it was so stupid when he turns his chair and she's just like crouched down right in front of him. The dude has 4 eyes.
Yes.
He failed his perception. He failed his perception.
He's got to
check.
have
For
like
real, yeah.
100
the stealth check.
190-degree vision.
Yeah.
She's just
Lilo's
not even crouching.
over here. Double nat 20 for stealth roll.
I thought that scene was really stupid. And then like that was kind of where the movie really, like it had been falling apart and that's where it really fell apart.
Crumbled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably my least favorite. You got one, Cole?
I would say I would agree with the hotel. It just the Slim Jim line. We don't know how to walk.
Oh, I'm smiling.
Where do they get money?
Oh yeah,
Stole it.
Where do they
Yeah.
get
I was
money?
thinking that they checked in, and I expected her to be like cash or credit, and him to be like, "Oh, do you accept?" and like hold up like a space credit card or something. And instead, they just like check in. I was like, "Oh,
Guess just don't matter.
They forgot to write that part in.
Ready to rank
All
this
right.
thing?
Are
ready to
we
run it
doing
to the
favorite
group?
scenes, or did we already do that and I forgot?
I didn't have a favorite."
No,
scene.
I would say my favorite one would probably be like,
don't even act like you like things.
well, when Lilo and even though like they butchered the Stitch arc, the scenes where Lilo and Stitch are hanging out and they're getting into trouble and having fun, that made me smile a little bit.
I'd say my favorite was, if I had to pick a favorite, was when Lilo and Stitch are in her bedroom and he's starting to kind of behave. She puts the lay on him, and he
Yeah.
kind of like.
Yeah.
It almost felt like he was like stimming. He was like overstimulated. And then she puts that on him, and then
what happened in the original?
Happened in the
started
original.
like fiddling with it. I loved it, and then like he's looking through the pictures. I liked that scene. That was one of the few emotional scenes that I thought was actually done well.
Can you give it that much credit though? It was in the original.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
once again, just follow the original,
Yeah, exactly.
Or just don't make it.
Yeah,
or just don't make it.
Yeah.
Or just don't make it. All right. Oh, plot. If I had never seen the original one, I'd probably give the plot a 3 or a 4. I have seen the original one, but I want to be as objective as possible. I'm going to be really generous here. I'm going to give it a 3. I think that the changes,
Even with all the plot holes in it.
that's why it's not a 4. Like being as objective as possible.
And the story it told.
You guys don't have to be objective. I'm going to try to be objective. I'm going to give the plot a 3. I think most of the time things were foreshadowed. If you'd not seen the original one to know what it could have been, I think it was a reasonably well enough written-ish movie. 3 is average, right? 3 is just okay.
Yeah.
I'm
3 is a plain good, I think.
I'm gonna stop talking before I give it a 2 because I really want to give it a 2, but I'm gonna try to be objective and give it a 3. Cole,
2.
2.
Plot holes galore in it. A lot of their overarching narrative, just throw it out the window there. We have characters because characters are involved in plot too. There's not a lot of good characters in this movie. Everyone sucks, minus Lilo, I guess. And Stitch is.
I thought not. Like I said,
It's fun.
I think Lilo, Nani, and Stitch were fine.
Nani, yeah,
I thought Nani did good. I really do.
Honey just seemed
boring.
well. I felt like she was in the original. Like they fought, but it seemed like you could feel the love, and you can kind of feel love sometimes here. But like, she just seemed like she was just so ticked off at Lilo all the time. Sometimes like she wasn't even doing anything. I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah, that's valid. Jonah?
2. I get like being objective, but also like it is technically part of a franchise, so I kind of factor the other ones into it. But even objectively, like I didn't get that invested. They, like I said, they butchered the arcs of like Stitch and everything. Like I said, if you are looking at it, like, I can't ignore that the plot does spit in the face of the message of the original.
Mm-hmm.
and I just can't ignore that. And like I said, no one's really that likable in this movie besides Lilo and Stitch. And just the plot, it just, like I said, they add so much fluff in here that I wasn't really invested in anything at all in this movie.
Yeah. All
My
right.
favorite scene is someone saying Mimi and Pee Pee, like where you're butchering it, you know.
Yeah, that's valid. All right. Acting, Cole.
3.
3.
It's fine.
Average. It's fine. Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say on that.
Jonah.
I give it a 3. I think the Lilo, whoever played Lilo, did a great job. Everyone else, you know, mid to fine. You know, no knockout performances, but I don't think anyone was like, oh, that's bad acting. Like it was passable.
I have a standout and a bad. So
Okay.
3 is the middle. Zach Galifianakis' Jumba
Brings
would
it
bring
down.
it down to a 2, but I do think the child actress they picked for Lilo crushed it.
Yeah.
She did a really, really good job, enough that it offsets it. So I'm going to give it a 3. I'm going to forgive Zach Galifianakis' terrible Jumba impression.
Yeah.
All right. Visuals, Jonah.
Visuals, give it a 2. Hear me out.
Dude, I don't have to.
Yeah,
I think
no,
I might be
it's-
with
We know
you.
it's bad.
The cinematography does nothing really interesting. Sometimes it's jarring.
Mhm.
We talked about the editing is jarring in the first half, especially. It's just way too fast. They cut it way too quick. It's just like way too much. And then the alien designs, I think, besides Stitch, are all around awful.
Yeah.
Like they just don't look appealing. They're awful to look at. They don't fit into the environment. Like I said, just nothing. There's not really any. But the only reason it's not a 1 is because, you know, it is functional.
Yeah.
And Stitch looks good.
I thought about
That gives it a 2.
literally the exact same reasoning. I thought about
Yeah.
giving it a 1, but I thought Stitch looked really good. Some of the other special effects looked fine. Stitch looked good enough to give it a 2. In the original, were all of the aliens just like Earth animals? Like there was like an axolotl,
Yeah.
Kind
like
of.
a beaver.
There's a tiger in the original. I remember they kind of look like Winnie the Pooh characters.
Okay.
Some of them. There's like
So-
a robot though and stuff.
But until they weren't.
Until they weren't. Yeah.
I'm also giving visuals a 2. Like it would maybe be a 1 because of like the weird, awful cuts and the pacing and the bad CG. But Stitch looks really, really good. So I'm going to give it a 2. Cole.
2. Same
Okay.
reasons.
Okay.
Also bad, not awful, but like the portals look kind of ugly. They did not look very good. The portal gun.
No, yeah. Really, aside from Stitch, nothing in this movie looked good.
No, it was an ugly movie.
Unrelated. I don't like this. I'm going way back to
It's
like
fine, it's fine.
middle stuff that made me mad. The fight between her and Myrtle was really lame.
Yeah,
Like,
Myrtle was like
yeah.
non-existent. in this
Myrtle was
movie.
non-existent, and in the original movie, we meet with Myrtle several times. And as Stitch grows into a better person, Lilo also grows into a better person and kind of makes up with Myrtle, doesn't she? Or am I getting that confused with the show? I think that happens in the original movie.
No, I think the last time we see Myrtle is like,
When she steals the car.
yeah,
Yeah. Or maybe at the end of their
No, I'm
Kool-Aid.
talking about the original.
in the
Yeah,
original.
in the
though.
original. No, I don't think she's.
They
I
don't
don't
make
think
amends.
she's-
I think it's probably
I
not until
remember
the
her,
show.
like,
That might be 2 or one of the movies.
Maybe. Okay. Either way, like the fight with Myrtle was like Stitch just acting out because she was angry and upset. And like, and this one, I don't know why, the shove off the stage just seems so much more evil.
Yeah.
Than, like, it doesn't seem like a little girl getting mad and hitting someone. It just looks like evil mastermind plotting. I didn't
nor-
like.
It's so
Normally,
much.
in the first, Myrtle just like was taunting her, then she acted out.
The first one's so funny too. The timing of that scene where he's like, when he goes, "You are so weird," and he decks her like you're not expecting her to like get violent. Like he like decks her and starts punching her. It's so funny.
Yeah.
He did the push does not hit.
Yeah. The push felt weird.
Yeah.
All right. Audio 3, I guess. Like the placeholder songs were not awful. There was enough. I would maybe give the audio a 2 if it wasn't for the fact that the remasters of some of the classics hit really good. I thought that some of the sound effects on the guns, despite looking really bad, sounded really good. I thought that was good. And there was never a moment that I couldn't understand audio. Like everything, dialogue, crystal clear. I'll give audio a 3. Cole?
Same reason. We give it a 3. It's very fine, very mid. Nothing to stand out on that.
Yeah. Jonah?
I'm gonna give it a 3. Like you said, I mean, I couldn't not hear anything. Not really any standouts. Like if your standouts are just covers from the old one, I can't give it that much credit. So, 3.
All right. The Big Kahuna. That's a Hawaii reference, I think, maybe.
Sounds like it.
So,
We're cultured.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I know what Ohana means.
Ohana.
Nani doesn't, but I do.
Yeah.
All right, Cole. Enjoyment. I got my finger over the button.
1.
I knew it. There it was.
Yeah. Not quite to my Borderlands 0, but it's a 1. Yeah, I hated this movie.
All right, Jonah.
1. And that 1 is hard carried by the nose exhales.
Yeah.
The hard carries that one.
It takes a lot for it to get to a 0.
If I've seen a decent amount of movies. Usually, if I don't like a movie, I'm just kind of like, I didn't really like that very much. This is one of the few movies I've walked out of and been like mad at.
Yeah.
I even like Last Jedi. I liked that movie, and this movie made me mad.
I try to tell myself that being objective, it's probably a 2. But then I realized that I was objective for every other category. This is the one I'm allowed to be subjective on.
Yeah.
And how mad I am at the changes they made overshadows any okay scene I had when watching it. Like, there's a couple times I laughed. There's a couple things that were good about the movie. But just surrounding the movie with all of my hatred for what it is and represents and is wrong with, like, late stage capitalism and Disney, I'm giving it a 1. I'm mad. I'm angry.
Stinky movie.
Stinky movie. All right. That puts me at a slightly more positive 48%. Both of you were at a 44%, putting our total score at a 45.3%. We will round that down to a 45%.
Let's go ahead while you're doing that. Cole, tell them about the Rotten Tomatoes score. For
So the audience score for Rotten Tomatoes, we checked before we started recording, is up to a 93%.
Oh, my God.
Unbelievable.
And critics have it as a 71.
Double unbelievable.
Let me actually go to Rotten Tomatoes. No, we've talked about this.
He showed me.
I showed it.
But I
Yeah.
want to read some. So we've talked about this before. The problem with Rotten Tomatoes is that if 90% of people give it a 51 out of 100, it has like a thumbs up. You know what I mean? Like,
How?
that's how...
Yeah. We didn't watch the same movie.
Yeah.
Like, that's how it works. Like, it doesn't, it's just like, it's kind of like Steam reviews. It's like a thumbs up, thumbs down kind of situation.
Yeah.
So, like, you know what I mean? It's kind of hard to go by a Rotten Tomato score. Where's the live action one? Here we go. I want to read some of these reviews, though, because you told me about that. Is it a 71% tomato meter? Is that critics?
That's critics.
That's
The
critics.
right one is audience.
Audience.
Okay. Let me read some of these. This movie
That
was...
says 5.
I did say five.
Sorry.
And it's verified. This movie was heartfelt and can resonate with many viewers on family dynamics. It's definitely one for kids and adults to enjoy too.
Yeah, give
I
your kids up for
recommend
adoption.
and would watch it again.
My grandma write that?
I
Grandma,
saw
go
this
listen to
movie in 3D and it was worth it. Entertaining for all to watch. Are these
3D?
bots?
Yeah, these guys are bots. These
It
aren't
really
real people.
sounds like it. I loved the movie as an adult seeing it and I laughed my head off. However, I felt that it could be scary at times for children. I feel like these are bots.
Scary.
What the?
Well, from the terrible CG, I agree.
Yeah,
Completely haunts my dreams. That's my sleep paralysis.
Jumbo
demon.
was ugly. Yeah.
Man.
Well, what's the score of the original Lilo and Stitch on Rotten Tomatoes? If it is any lower, I can't say what I was gonna do because I'll go to jail.
There's 2 here. One's 2003, one's 2002.
2002.
That's 2.
What is this one? What is this one?
That Stitch movie.
It says Lilo and Stitch, 2003. Which one is it? Which one should I go with?
2002 is when it came out.
I'm going to do both of these. I'm going to open them both in a new tab and see what the difference is. They might just have the movie listed
Might be a
twice.
director's cut or something.
Yeah. Okay. Oh.
You will not believe.
Oh.
What are we at?
Audience score 78
Huh?
for the original Lilo and Stitch.
In the episode. I'm done.
Yeah, I'm blowing up.
Hold up. What is this other
nothing.
one?
I'm not blowing
Maybe
up anything.
85 on this other one, but I don't know if this is
They're both lower.
I don't know what
That's the
this one
show.
is.
That's the series.
Oh yeah, there's a gold guy.
Yeah, there's
Right.
Flipping
Sparky.
Sparky was lit. Please do
Sparky
not make
was
it.
literally on the cover. I just couldn't see him until I opened it
I
up.
didn't see it either.
Oh, that's the kickoff.
86 for critics. So critics like the original more. Go critics.
Fair.
78 popcorn meter.
Dude,
What?
How?
in the episode.
Actually, how?
I love.
I know Rotten Tomatoes isn't the best, but like that's still unbelievable.
That is unbelievable. That's really And you said the Letterboxd was like also equally.
It was like 3s, 4s, and 3.5s, and 4s.
It's insane. It's insane.
Disgusting.
All right.
Haven't been able to.
All right.
I think it's time to end it before I lose my mind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're going to end the episode here. Before we leave, I think there's one thing that could really save this movie. And I think that the voice actor for Stitch was okay. But I know that there's someone who could do it better.
Nope.
Gulp.
Come on, Cole.
You can do
Cole.
it, Tyler.
If I do it, Cole has to. I've never actually tried a Stitch impression. But if I do it,
go
Cole
for it.
has to do it.
I don't even know how to do it.
I've never even tried it. All right, hold up. What's something Stitch would say?
Do the curse word he says. He goes, Easter, maga, Easter.
Easter. Hold up.
Dude, that was, ooh.
Hold up.
Ooh.
Easter. Nope, I got it.
That was bad.
That was really bad.
Man.
Come on, Cole.
Man, I don't know how I did it.
It's okay if it's not. It's okay if it's not perfect. You got to shake off the dust. That was not bad.
That wasn't bad.
That was
wasn't
pretty
bad.
good. That's
Yeah.
pretty good. I feel like grade school Cole. Maybe it was
No.
just me glazing him because I was also in grade school.
Please
but,
don't
like,
don't talk about glazing.
I
grade
glaze
school
Cole
person.
every
Don't-
day.
Don't glaze Cole and grade
I
school.
glaze my homies all the time when they do good stuff. You know.
Yeah, that
so-
E's going right on this episode.
Oh,
Yeah, that's pretty good. Still, he's got most of it. He's got most of it.
Got the
Okay.
mojo.
All right, I'm ending the episode. Thank you for listening. Hopefully, you will go support good new movies. Oh, hey, next movie. Can we please go see 28 Years Later?
Oh yeah,
You guys want to come over and watch 28 Days at some point?
I'm down.
maybe
Rewatch it because the new one looks good. I also want to go see Friends.
friendship
Oh,
Friendship,
friendship.
yeah.
Yeah.
So-
That looks good too. I don't know if that's
Yeah.
still in theaters, but
probably isn't.
Look for it's A24. They probably like put a poster up and then said nope.
yeah, nope.
So-
Something else is coming out. I can't remember though.
Yeah, there's no other movies but those two actually. Yep. All right. Hey, thank you for listening. Hope you have a good night. Thank you.